I'm Gary.
This is Austin.
And we are Midwest Mics coming back at you live with another episode of Fully Loaded Kansas City on the Kansas City Public Network. Again, just audio this week. Still some issues going on in studio, but we are together in person, face to face. So, going to record a show for you guys.
Hanging out on this unbelievably nice day. We're fortunate to be able to record outside, which here's the deal. When the weather's like this, I think you should be outside.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously. Before it turns into 100-degree weather, when it's 70s, even some of the 80s a little bit, you got some shade. Gary's got a nice little shade here on the patio. You should stay outside. Just do it. Cook out. Have a good time. You know what I'm saying? You should be outside. 100-degree weather for me is
too much.
If someone tries to get me out, I'm like, are we going to water?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Are we going to have some water, a pool there? And I'll drink some beers and hang out in the pool because that's always fun. But I'm like, I want to stay in. I wish we had. This is San Diego weather. This is the San Diego. If you have the money, move to San Diego. This is where you want to be. This is the spot. So we love the weather this time of year, and so we're hanging outside. We're gonna record this show. Feeling pretty good. So let's do it.
Yeah. I started my day this morning at 5:15 a.m. Ate some Fruity Pebbles. And got to go to football workouts at Shawnee Mission East. First time really in a couple years that we've kind of started our summer as normal. June 1st. I know a lot of the coaches I follow in the area in Kansas City had their guys out today on the field doing stuff. All-star practice starts tonight for the Mo Can game.
That's cool.
I saw some snaps from the Missouri team. Coach Harris, friend of the show, is defensive coordinator over there for that.
Big friend of the show.
Yeah, Leon Douglas is the head coach for Missouri. And so those guys are getting after it tonight. Coach DJ Patel.
Friend of the show.
Another guy on that Missouri staff. So, I'll kind of be rooting for them.
It's like everybody on there is like a friend of the show.
Yeah, I mean, we do. We got a ton of friends on the Missouri side, so maybe if you're not working, we'll go check out the game.
When is that game?
June 10th at North Kansas City High School. It's Thursday night. Thursday night lights. Missouri, Kansas seniors, they are elected by their coaches from the Greater Kansas City Football Coaches Association. Like each head coach that his school is in the organization gets a questionnaire. He fills it out about his seniors, sends it in, and then the head coaches and the committee get together and kind of select, a couple kids from each school or a kid from each school that's deserving. So it's pretty cool.
Hey, one thing on like when they put together this game, as far as like the plays they run, they run just pretty much basic plays that everybody knows. Is that how they do that?
So basically, the coordinators on each side of the ball kind of decide that what they want to run. There's been years where maybe an option guy, flexbone guy, is the offensive coordinator for one team or another, and he'll install the flexbone offense. And I think they have like 10 practices or something. 9.
Oh, okay.
So I mean, it's just kind of up to the coach. But yeah, usually you keep it pretty basic. You're not getting as many checks and things. Bo Black is actually the offensive coordinator for the Kansas side. I can't remember who the head coach is on the Kansas side this year.
Now, how do you become the head coach of this game?
So typically it's a head coach of a team that has a really good year.
Okay.
On one side or the other. And I think it's also kind of voted on by coaches in the organization.
That makes sense.
Because one thing about the Kansas City High School football coaches is it's kind of a tight-knit community, and even though we compete against each other quite a bit, week in and week out during the season, in the off-season, the Greater Kansas City Football Coaches Association has a monthly clinic. This year they were all done virtually, so we couldn't get together. But typically in a non-COVID year, they do those things. There's a brewery that sponsors it, so they'll have like 2 or 3 kegs of beer out.
Oh, nice.
We get food, and then they'll have different guys from the organization speak, or they might have a college coach come in and speak one week, and you just kind of listen to them speak on, usually they have kind of an offensive topic, a defensive topic, and then either a special teams or maybe like an organizational type thing or philosophy topic, and we all get to hear those things. And then, like I said, I mean, the kegs are tapped, and so they just kind of let everybody go until the kegs are out. So
that's pretty cool.
Guys just hang out and talk, and you get to share ideas. You get to meet guys from other schools. I mean, that's where I met, a lot of these guys for the first time.
A huge networking thing for you guys.
Yeah.
It's also a networking thing for the kids because they get any college anything show up to this game?
Colleges can recruit from this game. Typically, though, D1. You're done with your kids that have graduated in 21.
Right.
So maybe some of your smaller colleges are typically there. I mean, they're mostly done with 21 also at this point, but it's just good exposure, and a lot of the kids, it's the last time they'll ever get to, wear that high school uniform.
That's pretty
represent the Kansas or Missouri side of the state line.
That's pretty cool. They're doing that now. Do these guys do the kids go 100%, or is it or they do?
Yeah.
So it's like it's not just not like the NFL, not like the Pro Bowl where you're playing a little soft. This is like real deal. Let's go. I'm showing off. I'm going to show you I'm the best.
Now, obviously, there's more rules in to protect the quarterbacks.
Makes sense. That makes sense.
Just because your O-line is possibly 5 guys from 5 different schools that are, have had 8-10 practices together. But, it is a nice, fun game. And, yes, the kids go hard, and they want to get the bragging rights. Kansas or Missouri, who's going to win?
I like that, man. I think that's going to be pretty cool. When is it again?
June 10th, North Kansas City High School.
So June 10th, anybody wants to go out there, It's going to be a good time. That'll be pretty cool.
I usually try to go. 2 years ago, I definitely went. Coach Harris was the head coach for the Missouri team.
Very cool.
2 years ago.
Friend of the show.
Yeah.
Raytown South.
He's at Raytown South now, yes. Was previously at Van Horn.
That's pretty cool, yeah. So that's a good deal, so pretty sweet. So that's awesome. So on a 1 to 10 scale, 10 being awesome, 1 being it was sucked. How was it getting back out there today?
Oh, it was a 10 out of 10.
I figured. That's what I figured.
The kids were excited. It was just football kids this week, and we had right at about 100. I mean, I think it was like 96, 98 kids out there. That's 9 through 12. Football players that are going to play this fall. So really excited about that, to meet the new freshmen.
Yeah.
To see some of my guys back from last year, that are now, I'm calling them seniors. They just finished their junior year of high school. To me, they're now seniors, leaders on our football team. And, those guys that are juniors now, and then the freshmen from last year that are now sophomores. So to interact with those guys and just be able to see their smiling face and see their facial recognition. We did some testing and, just kind of get some baseline numbers on guys. And our plan is we're going to do a big thing at the end of summer to test again, and then that way the kids can see their progress.
So, I like that. That's very cool. So awesome.
Numbers today weren't where we want them to be, 40-yard dash wise and medicine ball wise, but you're pre-testing. So, now they can work hard to improve those numbers.
Yeah, and as they get back into it, they'll probably be like, "Oh shoot, I should have been doing more."
Yep.
In this off season. So then it's just it was a hard thing for them to go through last year and figure it out and all that stuff. So they're back at it. This is awesome. I'm pumped that this is going on. So high school football's back, baby.
Yes, it is. So fantastic. Super pumped about that. Let's transition now into some NBA kind of news and notes. Right now, as we're recording, it's June 1st, about 7:50 p.m. Brooklyn and Boston are playing Game 5. Brooklyn is up 3-1. If you listen to Quick Bets today, one of the bets we took was Brooklyn minus 12.5. So do you have that live score?
Yeah, I can pull
right
it
now?
up. No, I can pull it up here real quick. Here, let me refresh this.
As we
so it's half. So as we're recording, it's halftime, and it's 59-51. We got a 12.5 line, so I'm feeling they're up by 8, so I feel pretty good about that, right? And the cool thing is they're not up by too much to they'll start sitting dudes because they're really trying to close this thing. They're trying to close it out.
Yeah,
this is a closeout game for them, so they want to close it out and they get some rest. And I feel pretty good about that. It's funny, my thing just updated. Now it says 51-0. Maybe Brooklyn has 0. Maybe they got disqualified. So anyways, we're looking good on our bet. So yeah, once again, we'll talk about our other show real fast. It's Quick Bets. We put out a daily betting show where me and Gary each do a pick, and then we do a picks for the day, really fast, 1 to 5 minute show, and then we also just kind of talk about anything that's going on at the moment, which a lot of times ends up being Julio. Right now, it ends up being Julio Jones, Aaron Rodgers, Anthony Davis injury, so very current topics. So just kind of a little like real fast. If you're looking just for like a really fast betting advice, and then also just real fast news, Quick Bets is the way you want to go. We do one every single day, so just keep an eye out on that.
Yeah, and you can find that Quick Bets show basically anywhere you get your audio entertainment. I mean, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts. If you follow us on Twitter, we always tweet the link there. Our Twitter's under Midwest Mics. Pretty much, if you search Midwest Mics, you can find our stuff basically anywhere you get your entertainment.
I would say it's
Twitter, Facebook. We don't update the Instagram as much because you can't post links. But definitely, if you follow the Facebook or the Twitter, then you get the daily Quick Bets link to check that out. And like he said, I mean, it's no longer than 5 minutes. Usually, it's more closer to like 1.5 minutes to 2 minutes, depending on what's going on.
Just really fast stuff. So yeah, shout out to that. So anyways, we think Brooklyn's going to close it out tonight, and they're going to close it out by a nice little margin. So we'll see how that pick plays out. I think we're looking pretty good though.
And I will say this, if 12.5, when I texted you that, you're like, man, that's a huge line. And if it would not have been an elimination game, I probably would not have went with such a huge line. Like, if this series was 2-2,
right,
I would have went the other way with that. Just because I think, like you mentioned, Brooklyn wants to prove a point. They want to get a couple extra days rest. So they want to close this thing out and move on to the next series.
Yeah, and it's very important in playoffs and in basketball specifically to get rest because you're traveling.
Yep.
You're playing every other night, and so getting that rest is very good where you can just practice and get reps with the boys, closing out games, and that's the way you want to go. So I really feel like they're going to close it out tonight. Shout out to head coach of Brooklyn Nets. That's like, is that your favorite player? Was Steve Nash your favorite?
No, Jason Kidd was.
Kidd is. That's right. Okay, Kids Co.
Is he still in L.A.? He was with the Lakers.
Oh man, assistant. Or did he?
I don't know if he left.
Dang, or did he parlay that into a head coaching job somewhere?
I don't think he's a head coach again yet.
Dang, I don't know. Is he still L.A.?
I don't know. I'll look it up. I'll look it up as you're talking here.
Yeah. So I mean, and another game that's going to be going on later on tonight while we record this is Lakers Suns, which actually is kind of a weird series because the Suns feel like they're the 2 seed, right? But they feel like the underdog.
Yeah. Jason Kidd is still an assistant coach for the Los Angeles Lakers.
There you go.
So, yeah.
All right. So that means Gary's a big Lakers fan.
Yeah.
Yeah. But his favorite player.
Yeah, it was my favorite player back in the day, especially when he went to, was it 3 straight finals or 2 straight finals?
3 or
was it 4 or something like that? I mean,
2 or 3 with New Jersey.
Yeah, with the Nets.
The New Jersey Nets.
Was really the last time the Nets were relevant in the NBA, wasn't it?
Up until now.
Yeah.
So the Nets had put together a team. They had really put together this kind of an all-star squad before that was all-star by name, but everybody was super old. They had traded Boston for like all their guys, right? So they got Durant,
Kenyon Martin.
You're talking
now.
Well, this is like the last time they tried to do something, which was they traded Boston for, and they got Kevin Durant, Paul Pierce, they had Joe Johnson, and they had someone else in there too.
Kevin Garnett, not Durant.
Kevin Garnett, they have Durant now. Kevin Garnett, Paul Pierce, Joe Johnson. Dang, they had somebody else too. The problem is they were too old, and so it didn't work out, right? And so this time the Nets ended up getting Kyrie, Durant, Harden, all prime.
Yeah.
Which is insane. This feels like we're going back to they don't have as much hype as the Miami Heat, LeBron Miami Heat did, but it's that style of squad.
Definitely. Most definitely.
100%. So that's that.
Yeah, you were talking about Lakers Suns. It's Game 5 tonight. That series is also tied up 2-2. Anthony Davis, they were saying he wasn't going to play. Now, before the show, we saw that he is going to play, but he's on a time restriction. I think you said 18 minutes?
19 minutes.
19 minutes.
Which is kind of a goofy number. I don't know how they come up with that. but they come up with it, and